Hello Cobrats and welcome back to The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. I'm TryclydeTamer. Unfortunately, we are doing a little bit of post-commentary because I was recording the audio for the game with line in instead of the commentary of my voice. So we got a solid 14 minutes of post-commentary. We are back in the Eastern Palace right now because I neglected to get the dungeon map last time, so we're going to be doing it this time at the start of the episode. Got some Stalfos and Popa around. Those are the actual names instead of Stall Children and Levers. We are going to see Levers this episode in our next dungeon. There's our dungeon map right there, and when we press X we can see where our location is, and we would also be able to see the location of the boss. Then moving on to the next thing, this is where I'd be doing the intro normally, because it'd be like, real quick, we're doing our dungeon map. And I'm like, hello Cobrats, we're in Link's house now, with Kakariko Village music playing. We're not in Kakariko Village, but the music definitely makes you feel at home. So then what we're doing now, I'm pulling up my map so I can look at floor plan, or rather ground plan of what we're doing in this episode before we move on to our second dungeon at the southwest, the Desert Palace. We're moving on to the big marsh at the south area, or more of a swamp area, because we're originally going to go to an area called the Swamp Ruins, but that's coming up in a minute. Got a lot of soldiers that would appear out of the grass. The grass does impede your movement, so you're seeing some green sword soldier, or rather green archer soldiers popping out of the grass, and there's also a bunny-like enemy that occasionally appears that you could stop and be like, okay thief, take it, and it can like give you fairies or just normal hearts, a variety of items. And those crab enemies that appear are called hoarders. There's like different varieties with grass or stones. And then when we get down to this area, pulling up my map again, we have a bombable wall, so I'm going to enter my inventory and pull out a bomb, and then I'm going to use a bomb on the wall, and I'm going to sort of demonstrate that you can use Pegasus shoes to unblock certain doors, but it obviously wasn't working there, even though it seems like having used it at that time when the bomb was exploding without me getting hurt, it seems like the Pegasus shoes actually did work. Into this cave we got some mini Moldorms. Yes, mini Moldorms. We might be seeing a bigger Moldorm eventually, I don't know. And I'm definitely wasting my arrows. I actually had to restart the game so I can have a few more arrows when going into this. As you can see, I'm having a lot of trouble. I was trying to lead them up to a corner where I can shoot them more easily. Then once you defeat them all, you go in here, there's a thief. He would give you 300 rupees, but I'm not going to grab him right now because that's my cap. Do take my word for it that he gives you 300 rupees. When I spend a big chunk of my rupees, which would definitely be next episode, I'm going to come back and grab that so I can have an ultimate buffer of rupees and not have waste going on, because you can definitely waste rupees. I had a bit of a waste going on in Twilight Princess HD. Oh yeah, there's some annoying beeping that you're going to be hearing for a minute. Surprised I didn't get hit by those buzz blobs there. Then we're going to the screen. Right there, it looks like a giant bloated Octorok, and then when it explodes it looks like a bunch of tiny Octoroks. I want to say that's the berry enemy, but I think we see those a little bit later, like the berry and berry that we see in Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. I think in Majora's Mask, maybe? I know for sure it's in Jabba Jabba's belly in Ocarina of Time. There's my policy of spoiling, so to speak, other games when I'm playing a different one. So we're at the side east of Lake Hylia. I mean, Lake Hylia is all around me, but go into this cave right there. There's a bombable wall, of course, but I'm going to enter this side first because there's something on the other side. You don't necessarily have to be here, but it's definitely helpful. The fairy music is indeed playing, so once you bomb the wall and go in, you're going to find out that it is indeed a fairy fountain. I wanted to switch around my items a little bit. I had two fairies, fiery because of the spelling, because AE makes I sound in Latin, because yeah. I already took my Latin exam, but I'm going to be taking Latin 2 next year. Enough talking about Latin. Switching my inventory around so I can grab the bee. I grab the fairy. I'm like, no, I want to set it free. Grab the bee. It's a very special bee. A good bee. A new bee. I'm trying to think of all these words that apply to bees. But yeah, you have to use your Pegasus shoes to ram into that thing. Get a good bee that won't attack you. It'll attack other enemies, even though other bees do attack enemies as well, I'm pretty sure. I think there's also something special you can get, either selling or taking the bee somewhere. I'm gonna have to figure that out a little bit later in practice, because I'm practicing, then playing for the LP. And finally, we're going to bomb the wall to the other side, because you have to do that in order to get your way through. I like how conveniently it's set up and symmetrical, at least those rooms prior to the other ones. But this interesting item is the Ice Rod. It's chill magic, blasts the air, but watch your magic meter. I will keep that in mind to watch my magic meter. And then we're doing some convenient editing going back this way in the swamp, because we're right by the swamp ruins that I was talking about previously. So let's enter the place. You can do one of two things. You can push the blocks this way, so you can grab some bombs to have a buffer of them. Is that the phrase for this part of the episode? I'm going to have a different phrase for a little bit later when I do live commentary. But yes, use the magic of exiting and re-entering, so you can reset the blocks. And I push them that way so they can be symmetrical, because I love me some symmetry. Am I Death Kid or something? I don't know. You want to pull the right switch to open the floodgates and urinate everywhere. If that was urine, I'd be a little bit intimidated by it, especially with how clear blue it is. Pulling the one on the left is going to make green bombs appear, so you want to escape. I'm just doing that for demonstration. If I was doing a speed run, 100%, I would definitely not pull it because it wastes a couple precious seconds. And what I'm doing right here, always gotta do the spin attack in the grass. I was talking about that bunny enemy right there, how you get to defeat it, even though it doesn't fully kill it. It's like, alright, take it, thief, and then it gives you a heart or fairy, as I've already mentioned. So we're going to this area of Hyrule Field. We got a different hoarder with the stone on its head. Looks like there's 8s on the stones. A man of few words. Pay no attention to the average middle-aged man right there, and don't take the sign, or else he's gonna follow you. I like doing my demonstrations. So yes, toss the sign and try to enter that place. Why'd you take my sign? It says plain as day to just leave me alone, sheesh. And you can't enter a cave with someone following you. So what I had to do is trudge my way slowly, go off screen, so he disappeared into the ether. And we go back, even though I didn't really need to go back, because as you see, when we enter, it's gonna be a fairy fountain. So yeah, with my demonstrations, I'm kinda wasting time, but of course, it always bears repeating that this is a short Let's Play and I have more freedom to do whatever I want because I don't like my LPs being short. For example, Wind Waker was like 28 videos and a lot of the later episodes were pretty short, and editing everywhere kind of warrants you doing the rather monotonous exploration of the Greasy. At least you do have the fast sale in Wind Waker HD. Talking about other games, but it's nice too when there's not really much happening. Got these mud enemies in the sand enemies in the mud, I don't know. Maybe we would see sand enemies in the mud of the swamp area. Trying to make sense of things, we also got annoying buzzard birds that fly around over the place. And you also want to watch out for the cacti because they will do damage to you. Cactus, cacti. If it ends with us, the plural is e, and the genitive as well. If it ends with like datum, the plural is data. Medium, media. Nova, novae, because feminine. I'm just doing my explanation of Latin. That guy right there looks a lot like Sahasrara, telling you that we have the Book of Medora, and we can use it to transcribe and translate the Hylian language, even though it was explained when we got the Book of Medora. Go bomb this wall and come down here and get a 3/4 to the next piece of heart, even though it is a piece of heart in itself, but we're 3/4 of the way to having our next full heart. And of course, when you get your 4th heart to complete the cycle, it only heals yourself then, unlike other games. I wish it was convenient, but plenty of places to heal, plenty of fairy fountains around that aren't too limited, even though it's not exactly limited in any other Zelda game. There I go with my contradictions, having all my T2 tropes. Okay, let's be done with that area. We are pretty much prepared to enter the Desert Palace now, so we're going to use my spin attacks and kinda waste my time more and more. Read this thing with our Book of Medora. To open the way to go forward, make your wish here, and it will be granted. My wish is to have the wishiest wish to have ever wished in my entire wishing life. You can only assume Link to be saying that with his silent protagonist stuff. There's so many things spinning around you with these snake heads and the buzzard bird, whatever it's called. I'm just gonna call it buzzard bird for the rest of time. It'd be funny if when I killed it there would be like a purple rupee, even though those aren't a thing in this game, appear to where I couldn't reach it. But yes, we're in the Desert Palace now. If it was the GBA version, this also bears repeating, it would show the name of the place, but this is not the GBA version. I'm gonna mention the thing about the GBA version being inferior again, so to speak, air quotes. Mainly, more than anything, it's the rather lower quality of the music, more than anything, because it's not really too annoying that Link has a voice, because you do hear Link's voice like that, I believe, in Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time, young Link, you know, stuff. But we got enemies as we go into this place. We got green and purple levers, so they're not the Popa I was fighting earlier. Well, individuals Popo, and I believe the plural is Popa, at least as I've seen following walkthroughs and stuff. And also the Antleon enemies are called Devil Ants. But when we're in this room, we want to get these green Igors to follow you, and then shoot them in the eye with your arrows. I remember in the last episode, I was trying so hard to grab a pot to kill the green Igor, and I couldn't land the hit. Instead, I had to do like 8 sword slashes, and that was just absolutely crazy. Grab our dungeon map so we can see what's going on. I didn't pull up my map immediately. When I was editing, trimming these things down, I was watching in like quadruple speed, so it's definitely a drag watching in real time. So got 3 minutes left of stuff, and I spat on my pop filter. Hopefully you're not hearing rustling because my pop filter kind of went out of place because I don't have a thing exactly to keep it held down. Just gotta dash into that post to bring the key down. Link, it is I, Sahasrara. You must collect all the treasures in this dungeon. I mean, why wouldn't I? Because treasures are great. Go into the side once we have that key. Rhyming, you see. Got more levers and devil ants. I was kind of wasting my time trying to see if I could kill them, but it's like, I'm just gonna move along. I don't have to kill every enemy I see. I have a lot of rupees kind of coming up to 999. I'd already be at 999 and not being able to get more rupees if I had gotten those 300 rupees from that thief previously. Ooh, running out of breath. Checking my map right here. Seeing that this place is a 2-floor dungeon. I could have been more precise with it and used my Pegasus shoes to just dash right through when I tried to use them to exit. But yeah, in that room we got our big key. Kind of early on in the dungeon. This dungeon actually isn't too big in comparison. I'm kind of cutting back and forth because you do have to do a lot of backtracking back and forth between the places. But once we're done here, we're pretty much going to have smooth sailing through the end of this place. Wasting my time picking up all the individual pots, even though I knew that you had to grab that specific one right there to have the switch to the next room up here. And then we use the big key to get the Power Glove, not the Nintendo Power Glove, because that thing was kind of a failure. You now have great strength in your hands to pick up boulders. Yeah, the boulders with the 8s on them, but not the black ones, because you need a stronger Power Glove that we're going to be getting later on, spoiling different pieces of equipment. Of course, you can't really spoil Link to the Past, because it's one of the most iconic Zelda games. It's either Ocarina of Time or Link to the Past as the definitive games. Ocarina of Time for 3D, Link to the Past for 2D. And of course, there's slightly different generation gaps that prefer one game over the other. Just speaking my individual trivia, even though I was kind of young for both games. I think Ocarina of Time came out slightly before I was born. It was in 1998, I'm 17 years old, I kind of feel comfortable mentioning my age now. But enough about that stuff, we got a mini fairy fountain there, so you could grab yourself some hearts by eating those fairies. Like, just skewer them with your sword and eat them, and it's just like, tasty! He says with silent protagonist abilities. We have our 4th piece of heart there to bring us to our 7th heart container, even though it's our 2nd full one getting to the place. It was 8 individual pieces of heart. Anyway, back to live commentary now. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do. There's some synchronization. This would be the start of the next episode, but yeah, I found out that I was recording with line in, so instead of the game music being recorded, it's my voice singing the game music that's being recorded. Took me a second to find which one I had to push around, because I was busy talking, and I did play this in practice. In this room, the floor tiles are going to be flying at you, just gotta be careful of them. You could kind of cheat it out if you want to fully expose the skull shape by just sitting right here. I'm actually being hurt, but sitting in the doorway is a safe way to be. I'm going to fly around, waste my time a little bit. It's in the shape of an 8. I'm not really getting my net profit of hearts by wasting my time doing all that stuff, but alas, I shall deal with it as such. Okay, gotta be careful in this room. I believe we want to actually push one of these statues out of the way. It seems like a strange situation. Which one is that? I believe it's this one. I'm just gonna beat all the Popa first if that's what we need to do. I just practiced this the other day, but I'm so distraught by me having to post-commentate. I'm doing this live commentary before I do the post-commentary, so I'm hoping I can finish it tonight on the 22nd, so that I can get it rendered and upload overnight so I can have it scheduled to come out at about around 2:30 or so when I begin home from school. I only have 2 days of school left, and then it's summer break for me. Very awesome. Alright, we are getting a couple small keys even though we have our big key, so yeah, obviously we can't use our big key to open small doors, as I mentioned before. I'm like a broken record with this Let's Play. Not really much different stuff to say. Taking a lot of damage. Hopefully I'm gonna recover my hearts right here. Cover at least a few. Get some arrows so I can take down this red eye gore that happens to be an impediment in my path to getting to the boss. Bam bam, you are defeated. And we do actually have to pull out our lantern and get these things ready. No particular order, just light them all. And it's going to expand wall. I love things expanding. Get it? Because I named Episode 3 Eastern Expansion Exploration because I like my alliteration even though it's assonance. But alas, we are entering our boss room. The boss music is playing as I'm entering my inventory to pull out our newly acquired ice rod because we are ready to fight 3 Lanmolas, the boss of the Desert Palace. Worm-type enemies are pretty common in Zelda games, but it only appears in 3 games. Link to the Past here, I believe Link's Awakening, and the original Zelda. So you don't really see these guys a lot. I'm not really doing too well making use of my ice rod. Of course, it's a better way to fight them than with the sword. We're short of magic power, so that's sad. You can take them out with arrows as well, but I'm just gonna do my best and take them out with spin attacks. You have to be careful of the rocks that they split in your path too, so that's where most of the damage comes from. Kinda hard to notice that they are actually things that cause damage to you. Do I have to sing along with the music whenever I'm fighting a boss? I guess so, so I will continue doing this stuff. It is fun taking you guys out with the shadows, being in the air suspended, and I'm going to kill the first one. Then I will go for my next one. It's dying right now. And then the third one is going to die after my next hit probably. Oh man, there's a chance I may lose if I didn't have fairies. Oh dang, I'm actually pretty low in health, so I don't want to waste my time any further. Come on, take you out. Timing my spin attack better would be a better idea. And the beeping is starting to get pretty annoying, so I hope I take you out immediately. Oh man, please don't take me out before that happens though. Alright, wait for it, and bam! Yeah, that's better. And I died. Like the race with Nintendo Capri Sun and other people, Death88, and I died. He didn't even get through the first leg of the game before anybody else get the game. Poor Death88. Oh well, it's a pretty fun thing to watch a few years back. Come on, still have like one more hit to do on you. Okay, I guess I have one more after this one hit that I just did. And this episode might actually be a little long, one of the more 20-ish minute episodes where I do some editing, even though I am doing another dungeon. It's not like I do collection and even-numbered episodes and then dungeons and odd-numbered ones, because it's an even-numbered episode still. I would have ended the episode previously, but me having to edit things out and do the post-commentary made things a little bit shorter. This boss fight's taking a lot longer than it should. I could use arrows to take them out, but the sword is a little bit more accurate. And I never really mentioned that spin attacks, of course, do more damage, so probably should have done a better job explaining that. Here we go, we got our heart container to bring us up to 8 hearts, do our obviously required spin attack, and we have the blue pendant. I believe this one is a pendant of power, as weird as it should be. Blue is usually associated with wisdom in Zelda, but oh well. You won the pendant of power. Your goal of finding 3 pendants is in sight. Go for the last one. And next time on Let's Play The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, we will make our preparations in going for the 3rd one. And that involves going around Zora's River, possibly finding a way to swim around and stuff. We're also going to be grabbing a few upgrades. And then our ultimate goal is getting up there in Death Mountain. Until next time, don't toast yourself. Video is going to start right now. Sorry about that.